very good afternoon to you. Welcome to another beautiful edition of Government and Public Service here on Atlantic Television. Permit me to say it's a fresh week and it's a fresh week edition of the show, Government and Public Service. Do remember that Government and Public Service is that program where we bring to you realities and happenings within the governmental space. Governmental functionaries and governmental administrators, we go as far as bringing you political actors as well as governmental functionaries to come discuss their thought lines and what they think and believe at the standpoint of government on key and sensitive issues that revolves around the government. And don't forget that the show has been streamlined on our various social media handles on Facebook and YouTube. We are Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Atlantic TV Network 1. While on Twitter, we are Atlantic TV Net. Don't forget that the show has been streamlined on our various apps on Google, Apple, and other Play stores. Should you want to download the app, you can track us down on ATN Live on the app and watch us live as we engage in conversations that involves government and governance in Nigeria. Don't forget that the show also will be spinning around today to also touch the various ministries of government who try to travel around the 774 local governments in Nigeria, and we'll try our best to ensure that we get reportage from the 36 states of Nigeria. But while doing that, we encourage you to sit back, relax, as this is the only show that talks about government and public service. Please go nowhere as the show is just starting up. We'll go for a short commercial break right now. Please stay tuned with us as government and public service continues in a moment.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
With the EU, but
Welcome back to the newsroom of Government and Public Service here on Atlantic Television Network. I am your host, Catherine Sunday. Now to the newsroom, and here are some of the news making the rounds this beautiful afternoon. But first, the headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presides over maiden Federal Executive Council meeting. Nigerian Air Force strikes its oil thefts and terrorists. Governor Kefas committed to actualization of 5-point agenda in Taraba State. Now to the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently presiding over the first Federal Executive Council meeting of his administration at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. The new cabinet members were inaugurated on Monday last week after their confirmation by the Senate. The cabinet is made up of 45 ministers who scaled through the ministerial screening, while 3 other nominees were denied clearance. Also in attendance are the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Falashade Yemi person and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajamiamila. We will promise to bring you more report on the ongoing meeting of the Federal Executive Council meeting. But away from the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Presidency has issued a directive to the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources urging the suspension of its efforts to establish a committee tasked with the auditing the financial accounts of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. A letter cited by our correspondent labeled SH/COS/24/A/28 signed by the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajamiamila, was addressed to the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, communicating the directive. The letter conveyed that the constitution of the Audit Committee has been submitted to the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation for a comprehensive review to ascertain the constitutional, statutory, and administrative implications of such an action. The directive emerged amidst ongoing internal conflict between the management of the Nigerian Petroleum Regulatory Commission and its workforce. The Petroleum Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSEN, had earlier protested poor welfare and working conditions, calling for the removal of Benga Komolafe, the Commission's Chief Executive Officer, over alleged financial mismanagement. PENGASSEN had raised several concerns, including non-remittance of pensions, subpar work environment, inadequate tools, outstanding allowances, and more. The Nigerian Petroleum Regulatory Commission defended itself against these allegations, asserting that they were intended to discredit the Commission. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum Regulatory Commission emphasized that its action had adhered to established procedures, regulatory compliance, and the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. The Commission challenged the unions and critics to provide evidence to substantiate their claims regarding financial transactions and allegations of misappropriations of funds. In light of this ongoing dispute and to facilitate a thorough legal review, the Presidency has directed the suspension of the Audit Committee's activities until a comprehensive assessment by its committee being put in place has been conducted, and also reported findings being submitted to the Presidency. While still on matters on the Presidency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not hesitate to fire any minister who does not meet expectations, presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale has said. Speaking in an open interview, Ngelale said the president has set the benchmark for members of the cabinet. He said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown, as he did during his time in Lagos State as governor, that he is not someone who is afraid to relieve underperforming appointees of their duties. According to the presidential spokesperson Ngelale, the president used the interim period between his emergence as the president-elect and his inauguration on May 29 to set up reform committees across all sectors in the country. He said every minister coming in absolutely knows what they have to achieve within the time frame that's been given to them by the president, and that's something in the history of Nigerian governance that has never been seen, he added. While still on the presidency, the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Barrister Anatu Musawa, has denied issuing statement on her NYC status as a serving minister, which is circulating in the media. In a statement signed by the Deputy Director, Press Federal, Ministry of Information and National Orientation, the minister said she has not released any official statement regarding the aforementioned matters and asked the public to be conscious of unverified information. She expressed appreciation to the support, solidarity, and understanding of Nigerians in these times and insisted that she has not issued any statements on the issue. The statement reads, and I quote as follows: the attention of Barrister Anatu Musa Musawa, Honorable Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, has been drawn to recently circulating piece titled My Personal Statement on NYC Status as a Serving Minister. The statement further adds that this piece is inaccurately associated with in relation to the current NYC discussion. Well, away from the presidency, let's bring you happenings in the security space in Nigeria, where the Nigerian Air Force says that the air component of Operation Delta Safe and Operation Hadinkai carried out successful air interdictions missions on some illegal refining sites and terrorist hideouts in Niger Delta and northeastern regions of the country. He said the air components of the operations had on August 27th carried out air interdictions missions on some illegal refining sites located at Canton, Channels, Bile and Gokokori in the Gema local government areas of Rivers State. He said that a Cotonou boat observed to be loaded with illegal refined product and heading into open waters has also been engaged and destroyed in Gokokori in Rivers State. According to him, similar strikes were also extended to Idama in Akuku-Tori local government areas and Omona in the Gema local government areas of Rivers State upon receipt of intelligence of refining activities at two locations. Gabguet said that overhead boat location, active illegal refining site with reservoirs suspected to contain illegally refined products were sighted, adding that the reservoirs were subsequently engaged, destroyed and engulfed in flames. He said that identified militants, pirate camps identified as Big Joe's camp, Sonnet's camp, David's camp in Bakassi local government areas and Amos camp in Calabar South local government area, all in Cross River State, on August 25th, attacked by the air components of the operations were all destroyed. He added that the airstrikes were authorized after confirming the locations to be littered with these criminals and their activities. In the northeastern part of Nigeria, the Nigerian Air Force spokesperson said the strikes were conducted on August 25th at Chinene, a persistent terrorist hangout in Mandara Mountains, which have been struck on several occasions in the past. He said the locations were struck with several terrorists neutralized, having observed that the area had been continually hosted gathering of terrorists and their activities, adding that the others fled for their lives. According to him, the Nigerian Air Force aircraft had continued to give the requisite outcome while denying non-state actors the freedom to perpetrate their nefarious acts at will. Well, away from security happenings in the country, beyond providing essential emergency response services to the Nigerian public, the Emergency Communications Center, ECC, being implemented by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, now provide employment placement for many Nigerian youths and professionals, as well as offering informal business activities to the citizens across the country. According to a press statement issued by the Nigerian National Communication Commission, it said that the ECC, which have been constructed and are now fully operational in 27 states capitals across the country. They are also reachable on toll-free numbers, which was given as 112. I will tell you again, toll-free number as 112, and are operating in similar design like the 911 emergency numbers in some developed parts of the world to provide succor to individuals who are witnesses or under distress of emergency arising from fire outbreaks, robberies, violent attacks, domestic and road accidents, and health accidents, among others. This, he added, will enable them to instantly reach response agencies through the toll-free 3-digit numbers 112 through statements explained. It also disclosed that 4 more centers are currently undergoing test runs to commence services in September 1st, 2023, to bring the total to 31 numbers of operating units, while another set of 4 are expected to come into operations before the end of year 2023. Well, away from communications and technology, let's bring you happenings in states in Nigeria. Let's begin with Plateau State, where the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, in Plateau State has commenced an indefinite industrial action over the total unsealing of the secretariats of the 17 local government areas by the police and the directive that the democratically elected local government council's chairman should resume work on Monday. The police commissioner in Plateau State, Okoro Julius Alawari, out in a statement signed by the police spokesperson Alfred Alabo, directed that the elected chairman, who were suspended by the House of Assembly, be allowed to resume duties today. The statement said that the democratically elected chairman should resume office pending the resolution of a court case they instituted against the state government. The National Union of Local Government Employees, in a statement signed by the State Secretary, Saad Abdullamini, faulted the police for issuing the directive instead of allowing the status quo that both the democratically elected chairman and the transition from chairman should stray off pending the resolution of the crisis. The statement addressed to the Commissioner for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs states thus: I have been directed to bring to your notice the commencement of an indefinite strike action effective from 12 noon today, August 28, 2023, by Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees in respect of uncertainties created by the press release issued by the police PROs to the state command directing for the total unsealing of the 17 local government secretariats and offices of local government chairmen in Plateau State, allowing democratically elected chairmen and the councillors to have access to their offices and resume work today, Monday, 28, 2023, as against the earlier directives which prevented both parties, that is the local government chairmen and councillors, and appointed Transition Implementation Committee chairman from gaining access to the local government secretariats. Governor Caleb Mufwang, on the resolution of the House, suspended the chairmen who were elected in August 2021 during the administration of former Governor Simon Lalong. Well, let's bring you happenings in Plateau in Yobe State at the moment. We are the Code of Conduct Bureau. Federal Commissioner representing the Northeast region, Alhaji Farouk Umar, had reportedly died from a road accident. Newsmen have gathered that the late Umar died after he was involved in auto clash in the early hours of Sunday, June 11th along Jakusko-Gasau Highway while returning after a condolence visit to Jakusko town. Idibade Gubana, the deputy governor of Yobe State, who was among the top government functionaries who attended the funeral prayers of the deceased. The prayer led by the former special advisor to Governor Buni on religious affairs, Utaz Babangana Malan Kiari, who conducted at the state low cost in Gasau town, the headquarters of Banda local government areas of the state. He also prayed for the repose of the soul of the deceased and the family left behind to have the fortitude to bear the irreplaceable loss. Farouk Umar died at the age of 52 and was survived by 2 wives and 6 children. At this point, we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, more news on government and public service. Please stay with us as government and public service continues in a moment.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
Human trafficking.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
To the newsroom of Government and Public Service here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Government Sunday. Don't forget that just in case you're just joining us, this is Government and Public Service, and you should be streaming on our various social media handles. Should you want to join, we are on Facebook and YouTube. We are Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Atlantic Television Network 1, and on Twitter we are Atlantic Television, Atlantic TV Net. You can join us on Twitter. I'll take that again. On Facebook and YouTube we are Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok we are Atlantic TV Network 1. On Twitter we are Atlantic TV Net. Don't forget that you can also download our app to also join in this conversation. Let me bring you back to the newsroom here on Government and Public Service. We brought you news so far that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is presiding over the maiden edition of the Federal Executive Council meeting. And we also brought you news that Nigerian Air Force strikes hit oil thefts and terrorists. And also we brought you news that Governor Kefas of Taraba State is committed to actualization of his 5-point agenda. Now to other news. Let's take you straight to Kebbi State and happenings in Kebbi, where the Nigerian Customs Service in Kebbi has handed over 371 seized parcels of Indian hemp cannabis to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and 1,080 pieces of donkey skin to the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Services, respectively, in the spirit of interagency collaboration. The Custom Area Controller in the state, Dr. Ben Oramolagun, while handing over the seized item to the state commandant of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Services, said the briefing is focused on the anti-smuggling activities of the command in the state. He stated that the duty value of the seized items is 164,815,626 and the drug was valued at 94,854,409. The area controller commended the effort of the Nigerian press as well as the citizens, saying the success recorded so far by the command is as a result of the collaboration with the media and the general public. Speaking while receiving the item, the state commandant of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Suleiman Hussein, called on the parents to equip themselves with signs of drugs so as to detect if their children are addicted. He commended the Nigerian Customs Service for collaboration with the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agencies against illicit drugs in the country. Well, away from that, let's bring you happenings in Ondo State, where the Ondo State government has denied selling a cocoa plantation and sending farmers away from their farmlands at Ilua community in Ondo West local government area of the state. The farmers residing in the community staged a protest alleging that the government had sold their cocoa plantations and other farmlands to some foreign companies. The farmers, who came in large numbers with placards, "This is another slavery," will say no to destructions of our cocoa farms. No farmer, no nation. We don't want to steal. Farming is our job. Aketere should not sell our farmlands to Chinese. They should leave us here to farm. We have nowhere to go, among others inscription written on the placards. They alleged that the state government had issued a quick notice to all the farmers in all the 20 villages in the areas to vacate their farms. The protesters also alleged that government officials had already threatened to evacuate them forcefully if they failed to relocate before the end of the year. The traditional ruler of Ilua community, Oba Alalani Ibidapo, said some people had gone to their villages and started erecting signposts that the state government has sold their farmlands and villages to Chinese and Indian companies. Also, it is coming the chairman of youth of Laje community, Laoso district, Ondo West, Akimbami Philip, appealed to the government to rescind the policy and order. However, the senator's special assistant to the governor, the senior special assistant to the governor on agriculture and agribusiness, Mr. Akin Olotu, the government was not displacing villagers, particularly those occupying free areas in the state, saying that no sensible government would displace anybody in any free area, he added. Well, away from Ondo State, let's bring you happenings in Lagos State, where the Lagos State government has directed law enforcement agencies to apprehend motorists with defective vehicle registration number plates and those without any number fixed on their vehicles. In a chat with newsmen, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transportation, Mr. Abdul Hafiz Toriola, noted that the wrongful use of number plates has enacted Section 16 of the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law of 2018 stated that a vehicle without a number can be used to commit crimes that may never be tracked. Well, away from Lagos State, let's bring you happenings in Ogun State, where there are strong indications that the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, is embroiled in a stiff survival battle ahead of Tuesday's inauguration of the 10th legislature. Honorable Oluomo, who is currently in court for allegedly diverting 2.5 billion belonging to the Assembly, is running for the speakership race once again. But according to reliable sources privy to the development, Oluomo, who narrowly won the election for the Ifo-1 constituency during the March 18 election, may not return as Speaker except for a last-minute resolve between him and his opponent. Of all the 26 seats in the House, the ruling All Progressive Congress secured 17, while the People's Democratic Party won 9. Inside sources told newsmen that some forces within the ruling All Progressive Congress and some members-elect who were part of the defunct 9th Assembly are displeased with Oluomo's style of leadership. They also recall that last year about 17 lawmakers reportedly appended their signatures consenting to impeach the Speaker, but he escaped the plot. Already an ex-wild Deputy Speaker of the House, Oludaisi Elemide, has joined the speakership race and is considered a major threat to Oluomo's re-election. Elemide, a loyalist of the former governor Olusegun Oshoba, stepped down for Oluomo to emerge as the Speaker unopposed during the inauguration of the 9th legislature on June 10, 2019. The three-time lawmaker representing the Odeda constituency, according to sources, has the backing of some aggrieved lawmakers to unseat Oluomo. Other sources, however, said that Oluomo had secured the buy-in of Governor Dapo Abiodun to return as the Speaker. The 17-member-elect under the edges of the All Progressive Congress have been divided by Oluomo and Elimide, leaving the People's Democratic Party to decide where the pendulum would swing on Tuesday, being tomorrow. Both Oluomo and Elimide are from Ogun Central. The region is set to produce a Speaker in line with the zoning arrangement of Ogun State. But we'll see how far that plays out in election tomorrow in the Ogun State House of Assembly. But away from that, let's bring you happening still on Ogun State. But let's bring you senatorial discourse in Ogun State right now, where Senator Benga Daniels, now representing Ogun State, or former governor of Ogun State, in the person of Senator Benga Daniels, representing Ogun East Senatorial District in the National Assembly, has emphasized that legislatures now have more responsibility of executing projects in addition to lawmaking. The senator, who spoke in an interview, did not provide a direct response when asked if he could sponsor a bill to reduce lawmaker allowances. Regarding his personal decision to request that the state government cease his pensions as a former governor, as a former state administrator, Benga Daniel explained that he does not wish to receive duplicate remunerations given his return to public service after a 12th year. We'll go for a short break right now. We'll return more news of government and public service. Please stay with us as the show continues in a moment.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. Human
On the point of order.
Honorable State Leader.
On the point.
They are not picking our cause. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Let's welcome back to Government Public Service here on Atlantic Television. We should call this the last wrap of the show. But let's take you still happenings at state levels. We're taking you straight to Taraba State at the moment, where the Taraba State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Honorable Aishat Bade, had said that the state government, Governor Abu Kefas, is committed to the actualization of its 5-point agenda. She said this when paying homage to a kinsman in Zing local government area of the state. The commissioner disclosed that the governor is very concerned about environmental challenges, particularly climate change, erosion, and flooding as they affect the livelihood of the people. She said that towards this, Governor Kefas is already meeting with stakeholders within and outside the state to provide solutions to ensure the destructions of life and properties is curtailed in and around the site. During the visit, family members, elders, youth and many groups led by the head of local government administration, Zing local government area, Mr. John Sylvester, aka Bulldozer, commended Governor Kefas, appointing an illustrious daughter to serve in his cabinet. The commissioner visited the Banti Zinc Palace to seek the blessings and advice of the royal fathers as she carries out her responsibility in the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Receiving the commissioner, the Banti Zing leader, His Royal Highness Alhaji Suleiman Ibrahim Sambo, who was delighted to see the commissioner in his palace, appreciated her for coming and also thanked the executive, Dr. Abu Kefas, for recognizing and working with his people. The Royal Father, Honorable Bad, to be fruitful and diligent in carrying out our responsibilities in the ministry and promised that the people of Zing would give the government of Dr. Abu Kefas' administration their full support whenever the need arises, and prayed that Allah, that God Almighty, guide him to continue implementing policies that would have direct bearing on the people of the state. The Honorable Commissioner also met with religious leaders, during which the Kan Chan Zing local government, Mr. Julius Nyasi, and chairman of the Muslim Council of Zing in Zing local government, Malam Muhammad Shiabo, both spoke on how the two religions have lived peacefully with one another in the state. She also met with party leaders at the PDP Zing local government secretariat, where they pledged their support and total commitment to her and His Excellency in discharging their duties. She promised to work closely with them to bring the desired development to local government. Honorable Bade also took time to visit Mama Jamai Eli the state, Reverend Nyame, as a resident. The Honorable Commissioner thanked each and every one for their support and solicited for more prayers and support for the administration of Dr. Agbo Careforce. She was accompanied by top management staff of the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, supporters, friends, and other top governmental officials. The 5-point plan of the Taraba State Government aims to promote development and growth in following 5 crucial areas of coverage in the eastern part of Nigeria. Let's travel right now to Enugu State, where Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State has assured the people of the state that his administration is determined to realize the goals and dreams of the state's founding father through innovation and disruptive governance. Governor Mba gave the assurance in a statement to commemorate the 32nd anniversary of the creation of Enugu State. While extolling Enugu's founding fathers who fought for the creation of the state in 1991, the governor maintained that their sacrifices had never been in vain, as successive administrations had continued to sustain their legacies and work towards the realization of those dreams. He, however, stressed that the target of his administration was to go beyond the sustenance of the dreams to actualizing them through innovation and disruptive governance philosophy. Well, we say congratulations to Enugu State as it celebrates its 32nd birthday and anniversary, rather, as we want to call it, anniversary to Enugu State. But away from Enugu State, let's bring you happenings in Delta State. Well, the big heart of Nigeria, as you like to call it. Well, the residents and traders at Idiki Market in Ovia, in Udu local government area of Delta CCN Road. The residents and traders who made the appeal during a peaceful protest said it was carried out to also draw the attention of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC, Ministry of Niger Delta Development and other relevant agency to the deplorable state of the road. The resident, Reverend Alfred Okubiyu, told journalists during the protest that water from the road usually flowed into the market when it rained, thereby stopping buyers from going into the market to patronize them. He, however, noted that the present state of the old Uvewu Road, which is about 2 kilometers, had brought untold hardship on them, saying that when rehabilitated, the road would boost commerce in the area, reduce transportation fares, and make Uvewu and Alaja communities more accessible. On their part, Pastor Maro Oburume of Amazing Love International Gospel and some market women appealed to the governor, retired Honorable Sharif, to come to their rescue by rehabilitating the road, which they said was strategic and would ameliorate their sufferings. While narrating the hurdles they passed through before taking their children to school, the renowned clergy and the market women stated that currently motorists no longer ply that route and appealed to the Delta State government, the SOPADEC, the NCC, and other relevant stakeholders to come to their aid. The stretch of the old Uvewu Road connects various communities, including Utwama Road, Alaja, and Uvewu in the area. Well, away from Delta State, let's take you straight to the northeastern part of Nigeria. We're taking you straight to Yobe State, where the Yobe State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Nigerian NDLEA, said its operatives have intercepted 33 blocks of cannabis sativas concealed in 2 sacks containing granules. The command, through its principal staff officer, media and advocacy, Ramatu SB, disclosed this in a brief issued to newsmen in Damaturu, Delta's and Yobe State capital. According to the command, the 133 blocks of compressed cannabis sativa weighing 62 kilograms, which originated from Taraba State, were intercepted along Pokiskum-Gombe Highway in Pokiskum local government area of Yobe State. In the process, 3 suspects were apprehended in connection with the illegal trafficking. Well, a team of operatives strike force of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Yobe State Command, led by CSN Jubril Odiba, trailed and intercepted 1 ash-colored Sharon Galaxy vehicle with registration number AKK 484XA from Ba Isa local government area in Taraba State. Led by the area commander for Kiskom Area Command, ACN Aliyu Yaro, about 1,700 COP members were sensitized on causes and effects of drug abuse. The campaign featured extensive discussion on the subject matter, as well as questions and answers to drug abuse. But just before we let you go, here's a quick recap of the major news and government and public service. While President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presides over the maiden edition of the Federal Executive Council meeting. The Nigerian Air Force strike team hits oil thefts, terrorists in Nigeria. Government efforts committed to actualization of 5-point agenda. But that's the size of the news here on government and public service here on Atlantic Television Network. And just before we let you go on the show this afternoon, we want to crave your indulgence at this point that we want to know what happens in your various states, your various local government, and in your various communities as it stands right now. What are governmental palliatives being put in place to ameliorate the sufferings of your people? Nigerians want to know, and we want to make this like a discussion on our social media. Let's know from you, let's hear from you. What are the palliative measures that the government, be it state, be it federal, be it the local government, various tiers of government, what are the palliative measures being put in place in your various local government to cushion the effect of the subsidy removals? While we hear from other states that some states have started reducing the price of petroleum, some other states have gone, I beg your pardon, some states have started reducing the cost of prices of transportation, like that of Lagos State, while some other states are looking forward to go into gas production, mass gas production in terms of their transport system in order to place that, reduce the subsidy and the effect of the sort to cushion it. Other states are trying to look for ways also to pay for their children's school fees so that to ameliorate the sufferings on parents. Other states are also trying to look at mapping out strategies to also see how they can interact with their state. We cannot for a fact say what's going on in the various local governments and various communities, but we believe at this point that there are happenings around communities as well as there are happenings in state. But we can't tell for a fact what is happening. But let's hear from you, viewers at home. What is the local government doing within your local government, within your community? What do you think that your local government, what have you seen your local government do in order to ameliorate the suffering to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the local government. Let's get to hear from you. If you are not too connected with your local government, not to worry. Let's get to hear from you on the state basis. Let's hear what the state government is doing across the 36 states. Of course, we can hear from you across the 774 local governments across the country, but also let's hear from you from the 36 states what you think that the state government is doing to ameliorate and cushion the effect of subsidy removal in your state. But if you're not still conversant with the states and the local government, of course you should also incline your ears to that of the federal government to know what the federal government also is doing. But perhaps you've heard what the federal government is doing and you want to share it with us, just be our guest on our social media handle on Facebook and YouTube. We are Atlantic Television Network, so you can get the conversation going so that we can as well get involved in the conversation on our social media handle on Facebook and YouTube. We are Atlantic Television Network on Instagram and TikTok. We are Atlantic TV Atlantic Television Network, Atlantic TV Network. You can join us one. Don't forget to add one at the end. Atlantic TV Network 1. You can join us on Instagram. Then on Twitter we are Atlantic TV Net. You can join us on Twitter. Don't forget that you can also leave your contribution on the app. So should you be watching us on our various app at the moment, you can download the app and you can watch us and leave your comments on the app. We are ATN Live. Let's get you talk about the effect of subsidy removal and what do you think, what have you seen the government do to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal within your local government, within your community, and within your state. Well, at this point in time, we call it a wrap on the show, Government and Public Service. On behalf of my producer and my production crew, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Till I come your way, same time, same station tomorrow, I remain your host, Godwin Sunday. And remember, the peace and unity are the pathways to progress. It's bye for now.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
Human